All right, here we go, and tossing it over to Kyla.
Welcome, everybody, to the community working group meeting on this beautiful Friday afternoon. I'm pretty sure everyone would like to be outside enjoying the weather. So we'll get you there soon. Today, we're going to go over our ground rules like always and talk about where we are now in the planning process. As Kendra said, you all received the strategies, the draft strategies prior to this meeting, and we hope that you reviewed those. We'll go into a little bit about what we'll be doing for the April engagement activities and then wrapping things up. But we definitely want to get some of your feedback in our activity today as far as engagement is concerned. For our ground rules, we want you all to make sure you are maintaining respect, be present, everyone participates but no one dominates, be additive but not repetitive. Aim for consensus. So if it's something you can live with, we can move on. Be open to new ideas. And if you're going to bring a problem, please bring a solution. Make sure you're separating people from the problem. And if there are 7 seconds that there is silence, we will move on. All right, back to you, Kendra.
Thank you, Kyla. Okay, so just a quick overview of where we are in the entire process. We are here, and by here, I mean truly at the end of March, and we're going to start our community engagement phase 2 on April 7th, I believe. And there's going to be a launch with the mayor's office, and in that moment, we'll get into this a little later in this presentation, but there will be 2 forms of direct engagement that you can participate in, you can share, and that residents can participate in as well. And then after that, we're going to take a break for the month of April because that's the engagement month. And in May, we will come back to refine our strategies. And that includes adding in those metrics that we haven't been adding in at this point, but also taking the feedback from our engagement period in April and really adjusting our strategies around what we heard from the community. So we are still within our draft structure on our strategy part. We will be here for a while because we will come back to this in May as well. And what we've done since the last meeting is we've taken the feedback from city staff and the Racial Equity and Environmental Justice Roundtable for our strategies to really make sure that we are hitting all aspects of possibilities, equity, and what the community is really looking to see in preparation for our release to the community to get large scale feedback. And so today we will be looking at those strategies that were shared through email earlier this week. In May, we're going to be looking at prioritization, timelines, metrics, implementation, and accountability. Part of the prioritization will also be influenced from our community engagement efforts. One of the survey will really help us understand what strategies will really help us meet the vision and goals of every individual who takes the survey. So it'll really help us get a broader sense of where people who respond to our survey, where their prioritization sits, and then where the realistic, or I should say, where the technical prioritization of strategy sits as well. So hopefully we can combine those 2 things to really identify a equitable and implementable prioritization of our strategies. So what we're going to do real quick is here's a visual of the strategies that were emailed out to you. We are going to go through very quickly. They're broken down into their different themed buckets for strategies. And so as we know, objective 1 became an objective from 2 objectives. So there's a lot of strategies within this one. It has been very helpful to break it down into the different parts of it. And this is just a quick show of where we have landed with our strategies. I hope that everyone has read through them. We have our communications bucket, really making sure that we are meeting we're equitably communicating and engaging with residents with all of our strategies and objectives throughout this process. Our engagement is diverse and inclusive of all communities in the city of Richmond. that we are looking in establishing funding paths to make sure that we can do engagement and communication, and that we have ways for residents to be able to stay in their homes, which is definitely one of the biggest pieces of feedback that we heard during our summer 2020 engagement, and that we are working together with both internal and external partners, and establishing partnerships with organizations that are already in existence and not necessarily creating new programs to really help us get out our climate action and resilience planning process. And then with our objective number two, which is to focus on social resilience and climate change, we're once again focusing on planning and partnerships to make sure we're implementing the climate resilience and climate action into other departments and other plans across the city, that we're looking at how climate can impact emergency operations and budgets moving forward. How do we educate and help spread awareness for citizens or residents through the city of Richmond, and what to do in the midst of a climate emergency, or looking at ways where we can see where climate related health issues may exist, and then creating facilities that residents or community members may use in case of climate emergencies moving forward. So that was a quick overview, and this is all so difficult when you're sharing your screen. I'm actually going to do this because it's a lot easier if I'm not sharing my screen. So, quick poll: can we live with those strategies? Or if you can't live with the strategies, that's also fine. There's time for feedback until 9 a.m. on Monday of the upcoming week. So you can submit that through email, and we will definitely take that into adjustment with the strategies as they stand. All right. And for those who have concerns about the strategies as they are listed out, please email me those concerns before Monday at 9 a.m. And that's definitely something that can be brought into the fold with this process. All right. Now I have to go back to sharing my screen. There you go. So what's happening after this process, and especially why we want to get that feedback by 9 a.m. on Monday, is we will be releasing our community-wide engagement starting April 7th through April 30th. And we are in the process of bringing this all together so that we can prepare our racial equity and environmental justice roundtable members on how to talk about this information, and then preparing all of our public documents that will go out for our engagement period. So on April 7th, we will have the mayor's announcement during weekly press briefing. There will be an online PDF document for public comment that's going to be very similar to Richmond 300, and how they got feedback on their final draft. We'll have online and paper surveys. And I will say that these two different directions between the PDF and the survey are providing paths for people who want to have a more in-depth look at the climate action plan strategy. So those would be people who would go to the PDF to read through the entire document. And then our online and paper surveys are looking for a way to have a quicker sort of feedback process, and definitely focusing more on getting that feedback within 10 to 15 minutes, and less so focused on the technical components of the strategies, or like the wording or very specific aspects of what we're looking at, but more so what people are trying to see in their community as they move forward with climate resilience and climate action. We will also be having weekly newsletters. So if you have not signed up for the RVAgreen 2050 email, now is a great time to start. That's really going to let everyone let you know what we're doing, what's going on throughout this process. Our engagement toolkit will be shared with partners, and that's just going to include things like social media graphics, content material, and wording, so that it can be blasted out through more than just our channels, but through our partners' channels as well, to increase engagement with diverse residents. And we will have weekly RVA Green Gab events on Thursdays in April. from 5 to 6:30. And so those will be great times to come and see what strategies from different working groups look like, how those strategies got put together. If you have any questions about those, there'll be a panel of people from the different working groups that will be available to answer those questions and have that dialogue with residents moving forward to help inform them in this engagement process. And then hopefully within that time, they will also either take our online survey or review our PDF document. So looking for, you can follow, I don't know if I've shared this, but we do have a variety of social medias. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, RVAgreen 2050. You can find us that way, and then on the website as well. So with that, we will move into our activity for the day. We are really looking for opportunities to understand different ways that we can get feedback from the community. So we want to ask, we're going to go into breakout rooms, and we want to ask what your ideas are for engaging your community. So that includes both professional and personal, what your ideas for engaging vulnerable communities, how the Office of Sustainability can support you if you are going to use this process to help spread awareness about RVAgreen 2050. And do you know someone have specific skills, knowledge, or context that can help us with community engagement? And that includes this phase, but maybe even also in our fall phase of engagement, which is starting in August of this year. So after we do our summer review of our feedback, we will then be able to go into the next phase of engagement. Are there any questions about our breakout room?
Just one. Am I going to be on slide 21 or 22 for this? Doesn't matter.
No, 21.
Okay.
Let me share the slide deck with everyone.
I got it. Don't worry about it.
Got it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to break us up into our 2 breakout groups. Okay. All right. If there's no questions, we are ready to go on.
Hello?
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 Hello. Welcome back to the big room. Is there anything that anyone would like to share from their discussion that they thought was like a really great idea, an idea they want to talk about more within the larger group or anything like that? I know I got a lot, so. Or one of the things that we talked about was different ethnic restaurants that flyers could be sent to. And so, email me your favorite restaurants and I will happily drop off flyers and try to spread the word that way.
Did you want us to include our favorite dishes at those restaurants too, just to
that might be helpful. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
What about coupons?
If you have coupons, also send those my way.
No problem. I'm not sure if this was mentioned in one of the sticky notes that we were working on in the group, but making sure that the information is available in English and Spanish. I think that'll be definitely helpful.
Yeah.
And the Google Translate button on most websites doesn't count.
Luckily, the city does have official translation ability. So we will be doing that. There will be a slight delay on the translated information, but it will be available in Spanish only, English and Spanish. Any other comments, large scale questions? I'll give it 7 seconds. No pressure though.
So one thing we did mention in our group was that the city can't do gift card raffles.
Mm-hmm.
Could the city, let's just say, hire a partner to do community outreach, and then maybe the partner's strategy is to give gift card raffles? Just wondering.
That is an option we have with our roundtable members.
I don't work for the city.
You can always give out gift card raffles. Yeah, if there's nothing else that wants to be shared with the large group, this slide deck is going to be open for comments for until April, honestly. And if you have feedback on the strategies, things you want to see change with our community strategies, you can email those to me by Monday at 9 a.m. We also will send out a follow-up email with this that will give you the contact information for all of the people throughout the different pathways. So if you have comments on those strategies, you could send that as well. Our next meeting will be roughly around mid-May. So unfortunately, we will not be having our Friday afternoon meetings. We will be switching from Zoom to Microsoft Teams moving forward after this one. And I'm sure this is a popular choice. Everyone loves Microsoft Teams. And we will think about if this is a good time that works for you as we move forward into the summer. If overall we feel like this is a problem, please send me an email and I can definitely try to set up calendar, some sort of survey on what time works best for everyone. If it ends up falling out to this time again, that's just how the cookie crumbles. And per usual, here is the feedback survey. So if there's anything you would like to share about this process, that would be great. Does anyone have any upcoming events that they would like to share with the group? And that could be involving anything that you're doing. So.
Hopefully we'll be doing groundbreaking on our garden/farm over at Hillside, with probably like in April, early April-ish. But I'll keep everyone posted on that. And we are handing out gift cards for folks to answer our surveys. Or we're giving raffles, because it's true. Too many gift cards. They'd have to be like $5 a piece. So instead we're doing a raffle or answering surveys. We don't work for the city. Sorry. I'm just like.
If anybody wants to get a fruit tree pruning tutorial, we'll be at Broad Rock Community Garden on Sunday from, we'll be there 3 to 5, but 3 to 4, one of our gardeners is gonna just show us a nice little refresher and some hands-on experience. And then I know at Bellmead on